You have this fabulous book, The Upstarts, How Uber, Airbnb and the Killer Companies of the New Silicon Valley Are Changing the World. You know Airbnb.
Thank you.
Inside out. And first of all, this focus on China, how important could it be in terms of driving growth of the company?
Well, it's a massive market, right? I mean, I think you've got like a couple 100 million millennials alone. It is the largest international, one of the largest tourism markets in the world. And so, you know, the opportunity there is large, even if they're not the largest player. And it doesn't look like they're going to be. There's a local player, as there always is in China, called Tuja. The big travel agency Ctrip has invested in them. HomeAway, one of Airbnb's local rivals, has invested in Tuja. Over like 400 million listings. Airbnb in China maybe has actually, it's over 400,000 listings, and I think Airbnb is at 80,000. So a much smaller player. They've got a lot of work cut out for them.
New name means welcome each other with love. Was Brian Chesky, the CEO, welcome with love when he was speaking in Shanghai?
He's on a little bit of a tour of Asia. He was in India recently, appeared with Prime Minister Modi. You know, they've invested a lot in Japan. Yeah, I mean, I think he's welcomed as a pioneer, which he is. What he is bringing now to these parts of Asia is something called the Trips platform. So Airbnb doesn't just want to be a broker of accommodations. They want to give travelers things to do. So experiences, things like when you go to Shanghai, go to the traditional folk opera or see the Dove figurines. It's actually an art form. And that to me is powerful and a kind of an innovative idea that you can give people authentic things to do when they travel. And people, I think, are responding well to it.
I think what's also interesting is Sequoia, which is an investor in Airbnb, have a Chinese arm. They said back in 2015 that they were going to be helping Airbnb move into China. They were going to be helping with a search for a CEO for Airbnb in China, and that still hasn't happened. It feels actually potentially this is a bit of a long time coming, but...
Well, I mean, this is the road that every U.S. internet company must travel in China, and of course we saw Uber do the same thing and then retreat from China last year. You know, I think that it's as simple as there is a home field advantage in China. You know, people prefer the local player. The local player tends to integrate more with tools like WeChat from Tencent and Alipay from Alibaba. Airbnb has rolled out its own integrations, but clearly they've got a little bit of an uphill fight. Now, you know, they don't have to be the leader there. They can be a second or even a third tier player and still succeed. It's that big of a market. In India, where they are strong, it's still 1% of their overall business. So these are all economies that are evolving. There will be more travel to and from these countries, and I think Airbnb is positioning itself for the future, even if they have started somewhat slow.